Stanton. Okay. You in there, Austin?
Yeah, finally. Sorry.
All right,
about
there
that.
you go. All right. And Jake said he's going to be on here in a second.
At least I wasn't the last one.
Brayton just let me know that he had a family dinner, but heck, you made it here on your birthday, so.
Yeah, we had pizza. It was all right.
Oh. Yeah. Let some viewers come on in here real quick. So it automatically shares it to the Peoria Speedway page and on YouTube to my Hall Racing Media page. So. Let's see. Oh, there's Jake. All right. Hey.
What's up?
All right. We got everybody here that's going to join us for tonight. Brayton had something come up, so he'll join us another night, hopefully. So welcome to another episode of the Peoria Speedway Live Show. I've got 3 of our 5 feature winners with us tonight. First one is the birthday boy, Austin Lynn. Second is the B-Mod feature winner, Jake Montgomery. And then 2-time Hornet feature winner this year, Austin Traver. So this past weekend, well, first off, we missed last week's episode. Had a lot going on, so we missed out on that one. So I want to put a congrats out to our winners of the Mental Health Awareness Night, 1,400 win each division. Alan Weiser doubled down with the late models and B mods. Mike Chastain Jr. won the modifieds. Nick Seplick won the street stocks. Matt Mackey won the Hornets, and Zeke Williamson won the kid mods. Okay, congrats to all of them. I think we had 112 cars in the pits, so that was the 3rd year in a row. We've had over 100 race cars in the pit area for Mental Health Awareness Night. We'll do it again next year and hope we can keep building on that event because it seems like it's a pretty good one, and a lot of people struggle with that, and it's a good time to get the awareness out. If you guys look at your phones, the guys in the chat, there should be, or that's on here with me, there should be a spot that says chat. It allows you guys to see the comments that people are posting from Facebook onto here. I don't know if you guys can see that part or not.
Yeah, I wish I could have got Bailey to cook me a steak. That would have been nice.
So, yeah, this section, you guys can see everybody. If anybody comments, you guys can see them, and if you want to respond to them, you can. I'm pretty sure I can even pop it up onto the yeah. So right here, popped up. Bob.
Oh, she's gonna love that.
So, Cam Gardner. All right. So we'll go ahead.
I'm married. Sorry.
We'll go ahead and we'll start with the birthday boy, Austin Lynn. Picked up, actually, he doubled down this weekend. Picked up a feature win at Lincoln Speedway on Friday night and Peoria Speedway on Saturday. Had a good battle with Deegan Dozard for the start of the feature, and ended up actually crossed the line second, but we had a DQ. We'll go ahead and Austin Simpson wasn't even mad about this, but we were not notified of any driver changes. So with that being said, we had to go with the call of disqualifying Austin Simpson. He wasn't mad about it. He jumped in the car. He had a first time driver driving that car, and he didn't even think it was going to make it up to first, and it did. But we got to go with the rule there, and there was no notification of any driver swap. So Austin, who led a lot of the feature, ends up pulling off the win for Saturday night. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about your whole weekend, actually, because doubling down on your birthday weekend, that's a good one. So
Yeah, I mean Saturday. There's no doubt we got beat for sure on speed. I mean I'm not going to shy away from that one at all. He pretty well had us covered there at the end of the race. But you know, like I said in the interview, I'll take what I can get there. I don't care if there's 10 cars or 30 cars. Wins are hard to come by. So and we were fortunate enough to do it twice this weekend. So never done that before. So I was pretty excited about that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Deegan started out, jumped out. I think he led the first 8 laps, and you kept pounding that high side like you've done every week so far this year. It seems like it's slicked off to where there's been a cushion up there. And I was joking with Jake because Jake sent me a picture about loving the cushion a few weeks ago, and he's yet to go up there and run it until Saturday night. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's been Peoria this year. Everybody knows there's been a little bit of character, but there's been 2 lanes, and it's been a long time since there's been a competitive 2 lanes at Peoria. So it's hard to be upset about that.
yeah, I mean, Cody and Jay, they've busted their butts. I think if you looked from the Mars night to what we had 2 weeks ago at the 1400 to wind, where it went from the whole corner to the center tire off to this week, there was very little of it. And I mean, it didn't look like you guys started bouncing around. Maybe a little bit going into turn one. It looked like there was a little something there that kind of made you guys start bouncing a little bit, but it wasn't no huge giant rut like we
Yeah,
had.
no, they're definitely trying. You can't take that away from them.
Yeah, I think it's heading the right direction. I know we're going to be off this coming weekend, and we come back with the MOA 410 sprint cars, and I think that's going to be insane. But yeah, I mean, talk about Lincoln a little bit. Talk about you talked about Peoria, but I don't want
Yeah,
to just concentrate on one win because you doubled down this weekend. So.
yeah, Lincoln was really good. I wasn't sure how the track was going to turn out down there because it was pretty wet to start, but it cleaned up good, and I ended up winning my heat. It was crazy. We had a massive oil leak, and we ended up able to get that fixed and started front row outside and just kind of took off down there from the start. I mean, we had open track. I could kind of run wherever I wanted to, and I mean that was I've never won a race by that large a margin. I was pretty fired up after that night.
Yeah.
And then Saturday we qualified quick time, which I haven't done in a while. I feel like our setup for early in night's getting better. Now I got to start working on the slick again, which is usually where I was always better.
Yeah, I mean, last year it was everybody kept saying it needed to slick off, and I know you didn't come as much last year because it was kind of heavy a lot of the times. But I mean, this year you've been there. You haven't even missed a race yet this year at Peoria, have you?
I missed one of the Mars nights, which hurt
Okay.
me on the show up points. You know, I was hoping we
Yeah.
weren't going to do any show up points, but
Yeah. No, I did a
I
little
can't
bit of
be
the
too
show up.
upset. I think, no, between Noah and Deegan and I, and we're gonna have a pretty good points battle. It seems like, and if Austin shows up and races on Saturdays, it's gonna be really competitive.
Yeah. Thing about Austin's car, it's a 604 Creighton, that thing, which it's legal for modifieds. So when it
Yeah.
slicks off, that he'll be hooked up
Oh
in
yeah.
the slick. So, who do you want to thank, Austin, for helping you out this year and sponsors and stuff like that?
Well, I got a little list here because I don't want to forget anybody, but I definitely want to thank my family, my wife. They sacrificed a lot to help me race and a lot of time, really. Bert helps me in the shop all the time, making sure nothing falls off. And so far, he's 5 for 5, I think, this year. I want to thank Platinum Fab, Lynn Farms, Harrison Motorsports, SK Davis and Inc., Hull Trucking, Brown Storm Service, Jeb at Riverton Party Store. He helps me out a bunch. Amsoil by Gabe Gerberding. He helps me out with oil for the car. Tim Clark Construction. My wife's flower business, Aunt B's Backyard Blooms. Brian with Bandit Race Cars. He's helped me out a ton. That's last couple of years. I was getting pretty close to hanging it up, but he's made it fun to go racing again with those, as good as those cars are. Algar Performance, 5-Star Engines, and Brendan Bauman Photos. They all help me out quite a bit.
Grandpa.
Oh yeah, I had to include. He's included in family. Don't call me out like that, Jeff.
Hey, I'm gonna call Grandpa.
I wouldn't be racing without Grandpa. There's no
Exactly.
doubt about that. He's in the shop with us almost every night, correcting everything I'm doing wrong. And without him, I'd be sitting on the couch every Saturday. So
I think Grandpa gets a standout from the family part. So
yeah.
Bert said Jeb Brown. So
Jeb at Riverton Party Store.
Yep, he did. Yep. So no, I don't try to keep the drivers too long, but it's something to come on and talk about. But also, before we have you end up going, I know a little bit of history about Austin and the Lynn family and racing. Why don't you give some of the viewers a little history on your background and how you got to where you're at?
It's too long of a story probably for this, but my grandpa started in 1972 with Dick Taylor. They started racing together, and from then on, the Lynn's have been racing basically. My dad started in the 90s when he got back from the military, and he raced he's still racing, but I think he's got to be somewhere around 30 years. Mm-hmm. And then I started in 2015, and that's pretty much all we do. We go racing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a staple in the modifieds in Central Illinois with the Lynn family. For years, you could always see Brian with the Mopar on the nose of the car. But the Lynn family has been around racing Farmer City, Peoria, Spoon, Macon, Lincoln, Jacksonville for a long time, and we hope to see you keep that going as long as you can. There wasn't a 72 out there. It'd be weird, especially if you grew up in the era we did. So no, congrats on the double down and happy birthday, and thanks for coming on to the show, bud.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
All right, thank you. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. See you.
All right, see ya. Next on, we'll bring up Jake Montgomery, the winner of the B-Mod feature. Picked up his first feature win of the year. Like I was talking about with Austin, you sent the picture a couple weeks ago about the cushion, how good it looked, and I was giving you crap about not going up there and running it, but you went up there with a few laps to go and made a last lap pass to pick up your first win of the year. Tell us a little bit about your Saturday night.
I thought it was going to go down the wrong way. I qualified 6th. I just completely loaded the whole entire motor up and had it backfiring and popping throughout all qualifying. We ended up qualified 6th. We started 3rd in the heat race, and I pretty much will always say you could either dominate a race, you could either have it fall into your lap, or you could just be there and let them know that you're at least there. And it fell into my lap. I got around Lucas, I think, at the halfway mark and got to 2nd. And then like a lap later, I watched Anderson just chuck the drive shaft. And I couldn't believe it because he had that thing locked up. He was on the bottom, just had that thing digging, and it was unfortunate. I would really like to see on how the feature went with him being involved in the mix too, because he's really came out the gate with that Bandit pretty well. But started 2nd in the feature, and I knew O'Neill was going to be tough to beat. He looked pretty stout all night, and he had the bottom locked down on me. I couldn't make a run on him at all coming off the corners. He had the go-kart mindset stuck on him. He knew that I was down there, and he knew if he could at least hug the bottom, I wasn't going to get him. And I pissed my father off during the feature because I misunderstood him, and I thought he was saying to go to the top. So I picked a restart and went to the top, and it didn't work, and Turpin had a pretty good restart on me, and I got that spot back. So then I had the caution. I went to the bottom, and then he was chewing my ass out because I picked the bottom and not the top. So I started all back over again, kind of maintained 2nd again. Todd started pulling away, and we had that late caution, and I misread that again. I thought he said to go to the top, so I repicked the top, and I full sent it into 1, and I thought, man, dude, if I could just get this thing to stick over here in this corner, which I didn't think was even going to stick, I was like, hopefully I could keep my momentum up and I could get him at the end. Well, I went through 3 and 4, and I really sucked him up, and I was like, holy hell, I can't believe I'm doing this. So I made it around the other corner. Well, next time I see the white flag, and I'm like, I have to send this now, or if not, he's just gonna get me. So when I got into turn 3, I just lifted way too early, and I hit the brake, and I got a nose push, and I saw Todd's nose just poking underneath me again. And I mean, I just literally stood on it. I'm surprised it didn't blow the motor up and go to number 2 this year, but I stood on it and I beat him off the corner, and I didn't know he spun out. But I don't ever run that way. I don't ever run aggressive, and I can't believe I pulled it off.
You had him going through 3 and 4, like you said, and he did. He spun out, coming out of 4 there. Luckily, everybody behind them was actually looking past their air cleaners this week, and nobody touched him. This week in the B mods, I will say that I was very impressed with everybody. There's always going to be bumping and banging. It's short track racing, but nobody drove over each other this weekend. And that, to me, that I've been preaching it for a few weeks now, and it was a good race this weekend. So,
yeah, it definitely was. We weren't pushing a time limit like we was last week.
No. It's I don't know what we had 67 cars, I think, which we knew car counts were going to be split up because 3 racetracks within an hour of each other are racing. So it's going to split cars up, especially when there's one track doing a B mod special, another track drivers are getting ready for a 10,000 to win B mod race coming up. And so, I mean, it is what it is, and you're going to have that, but I think we were done at 8:30, and some guys even made the haul out to Spoon River after the races were over, and I think we had 1 B mod that went out there and 7 Hornets. So,
yeah, and that's what we were going to do. We were going to go out there, but right now, the way the luck's been going, I just was going to chalk up with what I had. My luck, I'd have went out there, and I'd end up with junk $700 worth of stuff, and then I'd went in the hole.
Yeah. Now, I've got to see you grow up. Me and you, well, we go back to the sim racing days. But even on Tim Bennett's simulator at Peoria Speedway, you'd ask me to come down there and run that thing sometimes because I think you wanted to prove a point that you were moving up on that thing, and you were. But it was fun watching you grow up. Tell the fans a little bit about your history. I've got to watch your family come into the sport and race, from your aunt and your dad to you, and then you have a long. You go ahead and tell them your racing background, because there's a lot to your background. So,
yeah, I won't take up a ton of time on it. No, my father, he kind of wanted to rechange his life and kind of go in a different route. So he asked my mom if he'd get into a hobby, and they kind of searched around. Well, they ran across an RC car hobby shop that they were allowed to race inside, and they walked in there, and Dad ended up and bought an RC car right then and there on the spot, and then that's where the racing took off. And so, like, he ran across, like, the Boseckers. He had friendships with them, the Conleys. Kind of got to meet those guys before we got to the big racing, Well, when he was racing RC cars one day, I said, dude, I want to race one time. Well, he showed up one night, and he pulled one out of his little tubware that he had. And it had the same scheme as what his was. Well, that first night I went out there and I won. And Dad knew at this point that I'm going to be hooked. Well, I was. So he kind of went away with the RC cars, and he went go-kart racing. And then he met up with, like, the Hudsons, the O'Neills, everybody like that. So he ran that. He did pretty well on it. And then he went big car racing. So he got Chucky Royer's street stock, and he ran that for some years and had Sportsman's, and he had some success down there. He just financially he couldn't do it to the fullest extent. So one day he completely mutilated his car on the backstretch of Peoria, and I told him, I was like, dude, when is it my turn to race again, man? This ain't fun. You took away the fun from me. He called me up on like a Thursday, and he said, hey, we're going to a buddy's house. We're gonna get you a go-kart. So I was like, all right, that's fine. So, and I was a little shit. So he takes me all the way out to Austin Archdale and his family, and I get this go-kart, and we go to the first race at Spoon River the following night. And he's like, hey kid, don't get your hopes up. These kids have been racing for a while. We'll just take it how it is. And I go there and I draw the 1. That's the typical, like, brand new rookie deal. You go up and you draw the 1. he made me start dead last all night, and I damn near won both heat races. And then I started second the heat race, and I lost to Austin Hibser, Jimmy Hibser's boy. And then pretty much the last 2 years of the go-karting, I was pretty dominant in it. I have to thank the O'Neills in it too, because they helped give my dad a lot of knowledge based in it. They ended up Spoon River went a different route with the go-karts, so Dad went back to the street stock days, and he was running the street stocks for a couple years, and then we pretty much just took a break. We thought racing was done with, and my dad always told me and made a promise that if I went to school, got graduated, that I'd have a race car. Well, I did, and he went and got Brad Willis's late model, and then it really started from there.
Yeah, you started out in that steel block class. You moved from go-karts to steel block late models. You probably, what did you say, maybe a half a season in that steel block, and then you decided to go trade it for a street stock?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was so garbage in that thing that I think I made it like 4 nights in that car. We got rid of it. We traded that thing and got a street stock out of the deal. I mean, hell, my very first time in hot laps is me and Matt Shannon. And hell, I think I ripped the whole half the side of the wrap off, the nose off, the right front tire, everything right on the first day of play day.
Yeah, you went the street stock route, then you went the B mod route after that, and you've had a lot of success in the B mods. Then you tried the open motor. You blew the motor in the open one, didn't you? And you decided, hey, let's go back to B mod. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I blew that thing up, and then when we took that thing down to Mullins, and they gave me the price tag to get it back, and I was like, dude, this is the price of another crate motor. I'm like, my dad's like, dude, you're gonna have to suck it up and deal with it. We're going back B mod racing,
Yeah.
So we've been with it.
Nothing
ever
wrong
since.
with that. I mean, you took a little break from weekly racing around here and traveled and did the UMP thing for a year, and then, but now you're settled back down, and you got a couple track championships between the 2 tracks here. And you just keep moving forward and working hard at it. So congrats on the win this past weekend. I know everybody was pretty excited down there in Victory Lane, and I know passing Todd, I mean, that's somebody that you grew up with. I mean, that's helped you, between you and Todd's son Sean, and you are pretty good friends growing up, and so that one probably meant something too. It was passing him like that. So
and I've watched Todd. I mean, even I watched it, that's someone I watched run door to door with my dad, back in the day. And yeah, I mean, I'm best friends with Sean, and Todd, he probably looked at me like another son at one point because me and Sean are inseparable. But yeah, I mean, if you have somebody like him that's just locked down on the bottom and he's not giving that groove up, you pretty much know at that point you ain't going to get around him, and you have to try something. And luckily enough, like I said, it just worked.
So who would you like to thank before we go ahead and end off with your conversation tonight? Who's behind getting this thing all going, sponsor wise, crew, so on?
To start with would be my dad. I mean, that dude, he just gives countless hours in this garage. The Randalls live over here by us too, and sometimes Buddy's dad stops by and gives my dad crap because he'll be like, dude, did you even leave last night? Like, I went to bed and your car's there, and I woke up and your car's still there. But mostly my dad. I mean, he, like I said, that's the backbone of the entire program. Without him, I'm kind of lost and screwed. My other 2 crew guys that I have, David McVeigh with Pizza Ranch in Morton, Illinois. That's one of my sponsors, and I can't thank his dad enough for what he's done for me. I picked up a new guy, Jesse. He's been kind of just learning the ropes and kind of feeling out the program, but he's been a great help in the garage as well. And then the women, I mean, all the girls, they play a big factor when it comes to racing. I mean, they got to give up all the time for it, with us to watch us go have fun on a Saturday or a Friday or any day of the week. And then other than that, it'd be all my sponsors, like I mentioned, Pizza Ranch, Performance Batteries, Killer Crate Race Engines, Real Antiques, Bodies by Montgomery, All Around Towing, and then every product that's on my car.
Yeah, so thanks for coming on. I know I've been trying to get you on for a little bit to come on here and talk. I think we were supposed to get you on here for the point because Keith was the point champion last year, and we had him on to start the year. And I tried getting you on here at some point, and I think you were going to come on, then you were sick, is what it was. But
Yeah, we ended up went down and was sick on that, and then like I said, just working, just getting transferred over to a new place, and it's just been a killer.
All right, well, I know you've got some things to get back to, and I appreciate you coming on and taking the time to talk to the fans and everybody and tell us about Saturday night and a little bit about your background. And we will see you in 2 weeks for the MOA Sprint Car Show. The B mods are a support class for that, so.
Yeah,
If you
will do. And don't worry, Camden. Before I get off, I'll get the BB gun to the birds, man.
Yeah, tell the birds. Yeah, I saw that earlier about telling the birds. So,
That's Camden for you.
All right, Jake. Congrats again. And if you're running that 10,000 win show this weekend, best of luck to you out there. I'll be in Missouri, so I'll be looking on my race pass and checking to see how all the Peoria guys are doing out there for that show. So. Again, best of luck if you're heading out there, bud. All right, we'll see you.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Next up is our Hornet feature winner, the first one to repeat this year. Austin, driver of the 37. You had quite the Saturday night. Well, you won your heat race, won the feature, but we got done early enough. You made the drive out to Spoon River also.
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk about your Saturday night a little bit.
Went really good, surprisingly. Won the heat race, came in, started checking over the car, and every single fluid on it started leaking. The transmission fluid, oil, motor oil, power steering, everything was leaking, coolant. And it finally slowed down. I was like, well, it stopped, so let's go to the feature. And surprisingly, won that too. Came in, nothing was leaking. I said, well, might as well change tires and go to Spoon. And went there, started 10th, got up to 5th, had a caution come out, and went back to 8th, and that's where I finished.
Well, not too bad of a night then. I mean, I don't know how the points work for that deal. Like, I know you don't chase national points, but that'll give you two nights of UMP racing in one night, basically, because you had 2 features. So,
yep.
I think what you plan to do this year has been working so far. I think you're up to. I know it's still early in the season to even talk about it, but I think you got a 13 or 14 point lead going into the 31st after the weekend break coming up. But yeah, 2 feature wins. I know your goal this year was 1, and you knocked it off, and now you're at 2. So who knows what this year is going to bring you?
Yeah, it started out not really wanting a points race this year. Just go out some weekends and just try to have fun. And, well, here we are.
only 4 races in now. No, and we've talked about it before. Keith told you could win one of these championships, and it's early in the season, yes, but if you keep going the way you are, it's going to be hard to not get it. I mean, if you're consistent like you are, that's the main thing right now. One of your best friends, he finished second to you this past Saturday, so that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, I need to get him some more speed. Maybe just a new driver in that car. I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, what really made you decide to try to do the 2 races this past Saturday? Is it because of the time that we got over so quick? I mean, I thought it was cool that 7 guys went over that way. I mean, to me, there's nothing wrong with doing it. So,
yeah, no. My mom wanted the boys for the day and go to Wildlife Prairie Park and go have fun with her, whatnot. And she came and picked them up and asked my oldest where he wanted to go if he wanted to go watch Uncle Cody or come watch me. And, well, he picked Cody. So, well, I didn't know how long Peoria was going to take. Didn't know if I was going to have enough time to get out there. But yeah, after a heat race, I said, well, we got the tires for Spoon.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Because those boys love watching me race. So.
Yeah. No, it was a deal where, I mean, we had, like I said, we had 67 cars, and I told you guys in the drivers' meeting, my goal is to be done at 9 o'clock. But thankfully, the way everybody raced Saturday night, we didn't have very many cautions in any classes. Everybody raced with a lot of respect, and we were able to move through that show pretty quick.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, I think we were done at 8:30 is when your checkered flag flew. So I can't argue. I mean, early nights like that, I'll do it every week if Brandon would allow me to. So
I wish we got over that early every weekend.
it was. I mean, it's a deal that it was nice because there was still quite a few people went back to the pit area Saturday night after the races were over, and we don't see that anymore. And I want to see more of that, and if I can continue to push the show to get done earlier to allow the fans to come back and have that access and meet you guys, because the whole reason of me even starting this show is because a lot of the fans don't get to see the drivers.
Right.
So this gives me the chance to get you guys to come on and talk, and they can finally see a face that goes with the race car. But we'll do like here coming up, we'll probably do a lot. Take a night, do a little longer intermission, and probably do a driver autograph night over in the grandstands and stuff like that. But to me, I'd rather see the fans go to the pits because me, and I guarantee Cole Swibel, I see he's on here now. You probably even as a kid, we went to that back pit area and got to see the drivers and jump in the cars and get our autographs and stuff like that. And
that was every weekend.
Yeah, and you don't see that anymore.
No. I got a bunch of little 37s in my truck for all the little kids come over, but I think I've only had like 2 kids come out this year so far.
Yeah. So there's, like I said, if you're a fan and you're listening, like Austin just said, he's got little 37. Are they stickers?
Yeah, they're stickers.
Yeah, come grab a sticker for your son or daughter to put up on their wall or on a. I don't know. I got racing stickers on my laptop, so. But it's just a good deal. Yeah, just like you said, any chance we could, Cole. We were down there. It's not like the bigger shows where these guys got to move to the next racetrack, so they're loading up after Summer Nationals or Mars or World of Outlaws or Lucas and just getting out of there because these are your local racers, and we can't do this without the fans, and we need more interactive action going on there. But I think we can pull that off. I think there's going to be there'll be more things we'll do. Let's take buy checkered flag, just like Brian just said. Buy more. We could buy more checkered flags, hand those out, and have them go to the back and get autographs. There's just different things you can do. Just like so, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. Noah Fall. He bought 220 passes to hand out at schools this past weekend. So that's going to be something we're going to be getting with some schools. We can either do it this last week or we can wait till school starts back up and right around the time we do the back to school book bag giveaways or something like that. All these schools can hand out the passes. But I want to thank Noah for doing that because that was a huge thing to help the racetrack by buying all those passes like he did. But go ahead and let's thank your sponsors that help you and your crew that get you to the track every week.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Whoppers here in Elmwood, my favorite watering hole. D&N Auto Body, Noah Fall, really, really good guy all around. Martin Electric, Ben Howard at Illinois Trailer Rental. He helps me out every weekend. Who else? Wagner Farms and my dad and the Hamiltons.
That all of them? Are
I'm sure.
you
I'm
missing
sure I'll
some?
miss. I'm
I'm
sure
pretty
I'll
sure
miss.
you are. That car's covered this year, so I'm pretty sure you're missing a couple. It's just hard to memorize them all.
Yeah.
So, no, congrats again this year. You've had a great year going so far, and just keep doing what you're doing. There's no doubt in my mind that you'll be in that contention for that point championship this year.
And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and keep going week to week like you're doing. I wouldn't even think about it. So, all right, bud. Thanks for coming on, and congrats on the second win this year, bud.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you later. All right, see ya. All right, guys. That was Austin Lynn, the winner of the UMP modified feature, drives a 72A. Jake Montgomery, 21.5 B mod feature winner, and Austin Traver, the number 37. Davey Crawley, he won our street stock feature event, picked up his first win of the year, driving for the Randalls. And then Brayton Wallace picked up the feature win, picking up his first one of the year also in the T2, driving for Todd Bennett. So congrats to all our winners this week. This past weekend. This week coming up, Memorial Day weekend, we are off. We take off for the holiday weekends this year, just like we did last year. So to any of the Peoria Speedway guys going out to run the 10,000 to win B-Mod show, best of luck to you guys. And the Hornets, I think, are 1,000 to win out there, I think, this weekend. So if you guys are going out there, best of luck to you guys also. I hope everybody has a safe Memorial Day weekend. We'll return on Saturday, May 31st with the MOA 410 sprint cars. Also racing that night will be the Mara Midgets. So if you are a open wheel sprint car fan or midget fan, Saturday night, Peoria Speedway will be the place to be on May 31st. Mark McMahill, he'll be one of the locals that will be racing in the Mara Midgets. And I haven't heard if Austin Archdale's racing the 410s yet, but if so, he'll be one of the locals running the sprint car division. We'll also be running UMP Modifieds, B-Mods, UMP Hornets, and the Kid Mods will be racing that weekend also. We'll probably run the Kid Mods before intermission. Then we'll come back with the B-Mods, and then we'll get into the sprint cars and the midgets and run the Modifieds and Hornets in the back. So come out and support the racetrack that night. It's been a long time. Well, it's probably been about 8 years probably since the 410s have been at Peoria. We've had the 360s for a while and decided to go back 410 racing. So hopefully we have a good field of those. I know they're at Lincoln Speedway on Friday, May 30th. I think, Lincoln. And they'll have the 410 sprint cars there and the Mara Midgets there also. So it'll be a 2-race weekend for those two classes. So, again, hope everybody has a good holiday weekend, and thanks for coming out to the Peoria Speedway this last Saturday and supporting us. And we hope to see you guys in 2 weeks.